This is Local 15 News.
The Airbus assembly plant in Mobile is about to become a reality. It's our big story tonight at 5 o'clock. The first components of the Airbus A320 are on the way from Germany. The vessel will arrive in Mobile in a couple of weeks, and there's a way you can track its movement. We will have more on that in just a moment, but first, Local 15's Darwin Singleton kicks off our team coverage with more on what today's announcement will mean for our area.
At the Runway Cafe at Brooklyn Aeroplex, customers eagerly await their Airbus A320. No, not this A320. This A320, Runway Cafe's A320 burger.
It's a double 5.33 ounce patty with lettuce, tomato, pickle, onions, and cheese, and it's served on Texas toast.
Ooh,
yes.
So it's good.
Yes, it is.
So they like it here?
Yes.
But in less than a month, June 21st to be exact, Father's Day to be even more exact, sections of the very first Airbus A320 to be assembled in Mobile will pass right by Dana Davis's cafe door. We know this because today Airbus tweeted pictures of those sections being loaded on a ship for their journey to the U.S., including this photo of the tail section already emblazoned with JetBlue's logo.
They've put the pieces on a ship at the factory in Germany, and the ship is in transit to Mobile. Will be here in probably under 3 weeks.
Jimmy Lyons is among those eagerly awaiting that day. As director of the state docks, he's been in on the effort to get Airbus in Mobile for nearly a decade.
It's exciting to see, sort of a culmination of an effort that we put a lot of time and effort in.
And here's why. The sections will arrive at the state dock's new container terminal to be offloaded there, their first touchdown on American soil, so to speak. So what happens next? Well, then the sections will be loaded onto the back of trucks here at the terminal. Next stop, Brooklyn Aeroplex, and to get there, they'll head down Baker Street until they reach Broad. There, they'll make a sharp left toward the Airbus plant, a turn being made much easier because of efforts to widen the intersection and Broad Street. The trucks bearing the plane parts will eventually make their way to 15th Street here at the Brooklyn Aeroplex. And when they do, the public is likely to be invited to come and see for themselves in a big celebration. A celebration that's likely to take on a little Mobile flair. Sources tell me the procession will be pure Mobile with a touch of Mardi Gras, and you'll be invited.
We're going to try to have some places set up where people that want to come out on Father's Day and see that, and we've got some property along the route that we'll probably maybe put out some maps and stuff like that.
Dana Davis and staff plan to watch.
And to be open for anybody that wants to come out and try some of the good food.
Until the real deal arrives, you'll just have to settle for the smaller, more delicious version. At Brooklyn Aeroplex, Darwin Singleton, Local 15 News.
Local 15 has been following the progress of Airbus since the announcement that it would open its first U.S. facility here in Mobile. That was in July of 2012. Officials broke ground on the facility going up right now at Brooklyn in 2013. As we mentioned, production on the first plane is set to start this summer, and it is expected to roll out sometime in 2016. We mentioned those parts headed to Mobile will take 20 days to get here, but you can keep an eye on those parts right now. Local 15 web content specialist Taryn Reed has details on how you can track the voyage online. Taryn?
We got a peek this morning at what those parts being shipped look like. It's the tail of a JetBlue aircraft. The piece was sent off in style this morning from Hamburg, Germany, in front of a full crowd, including some Airbus employees from Mobile. So you might think it's done, that you'll have to wait 20 days until it arrives. But you don't. There's a way to track that voyage online as the tail makes its way into Mobile. And the site is vesselfinder.com. All you need to know is the name of the ship. It's the BBC Atlantic. Airbus and Facebook and Twitter. Airbus on Facebook and Twitter will also be sending out updates. The ship is expected sometime around Father's Day, and when it gets here, like Darwin said, get ready for a party. I posted a direct link to follow the ship on our website. Check out the Find It section of local15tv.com.
Millions love to party and party hard, Taryn. Thanks. Remember, Local 15 has you covered on all things Airbus as production gets underway. For the very latest, visit our website, local15tv.com. Today, Mobile's Assistant Chief of Police, Joseph Kennedy, handed the reins over to new Assistant Chief Lawrence Batiste. After 38 years of service in law enforcement, Kennedy has accepted a civilian position with the Mobile Police Department and will now be the administrative assistant to Chief Barber. Chief Batiste comes to Mobile with 26 years of experience in law enforcement and most recently served as Chief Juvenile Probation Officer with Mobile County Juvenile Court. He says he's looking forward to fulfilling Chief Kennedy's shoes.
I have the uniform and I have the title, so that is position authority. So I ask for respect from there, and I ask that they give me time to earn their respect as an individual. That's all anyone can ask for, you know. I know that I can do the job, and I know that I'll earn their respect.
Tonight at 6 o'clock, Local 15's Lauren Sarchapone explains some of the problems Batiste would like to tackle while in office. Mobile police have arrested the man they say cut someone before robbing a local business. 31-year-old Demetrius Reynolds is facing robbery and assault charges tonight. It happened Thursday just before midnight on Michael Boulevard. That's where the victim told police he was cut by Reynolds following an argument. Police say Reynolds then entered a business armed with a knife and demanded property. The penalty phase of Heather Keaton's capital murder trial is expected to wrap up Tuesday. Keaton is guilty of capital murder for the death of her stepson, 3-year-old Chase DeBlaze, and manslaughter for his sister, 4-year-old Natalie. Prosecutors are pushing for the death penalty. Local 15's Christian Jennings is live at Government Plaza, where today jurors heard reasons why the defense says Keaton's life should be spared. Christian?
Yeah, today the focus was on stirring up sympathy for Heather Keaton. That continued to be the focus today. Testimony revealed allegations that Keaton was beaten and sexually abused by her father as a child. Yesterday, we heard a witness testify that Keaton suffers from bipolar disorder and PTSD. The defense also called Keaton's aunt and grandmother to the stand. It appears the attorneys are trying to show the jury that Keaton has people in her life who love her and would miss her if she's sentenced to death. Prosecutors, however, say the way Keaton killed Chase DeBlaze by poisoning him and duct taping him to a broomstick is especially heinous, atrocious, and cruel, and warrants the death penalty. They also pointed to jail records today which show that Keaton has been in fights with other inmates while incarcerated at Metro Jail. The defense rested its case in this penalty phase, with Keaton telling the judge she wished not to testify on her own behalf today, which of course is her right. The state on Monday will begin calling rebuttal witnesses. We do expect this to all be over and in the jury's hands by Tuesday so that they can then make a decision or a recommendation on life or death. Reporting at Government Plaza, Christian Jennings, Local 15 News.
Christian, thank you. The trial against a former Alabama officer charged with assaulting an Indian man won't get underway until September. A federal judge postponed the trial against Eric Parker today. It was originally set to start later this month. The former Madison police officer is accused of using unreasonable force during a violent confrontation earlier this year. Parker's lawyers requested the delay because a crucial witness wouldn't be available. The Mobile man killed in a hit-and-run crash last week has been laid to rest. 57-year-old Jerry Baxley was walking down McVeigh Road to a convenience store May 20th when he was hit by a truck. No arrests have been made in this case. Authorities are still searching for the driver involved in this accident. One Baldwin County teenager is taking a stand on a controversial therapy. It's called conversion therapy, and it aims to change a person's sexual orientation. Most trained medical professionals don't do it anymore, but in Alabama and most states, there's no law against it. Local 15's James Gordon spoke with 15-year-old Olivia Kane today about her quest to ban conversion therapy. James?
Well, Kim, no matter how you feel about this issue, this is a brave young lady who at 15 has taken on a very controversial topic.
They shouldn't be forced to do that. It should be someone's personal decision.
15 years old, this smart, outgoing Daphne High School student has taken on banning conversion therapy. Controversial to say the least, especially in Alabama, where even the issue of same-sex marriage has been so divisive. It all started out as an end-of-the-year school project for Olivia Kane. And now she has close to 16,000 signatures on the site Care2 petitions. Her goal is to get legislation passed banning conversion therapy. We reached out to local legislators and heard back from Representative Steve McMillan.
Well, I think it's admirable. I certainly encourage people to be involved in public policy issues.
A lot of people think that you need to, go to conversion therapy, find a way to, as they say, pray the gay away. Conversion therapy at its best is just ineffective, and at its worst causes other mental disorders that can eventually lead to suicide, as we've seen with Leela and many others after her and before her.
Kane is talking about last year's well-publicized case of 17-year-old Leela Alcorn, a transgender teen who committed suicide after being forced into conversion therapy. So the big question now is, will Olivia Kane's quest to ban the therapy make it to the State House?
My guess is that certainly it would be controversial if it ever got to the floor for a vote. At this point, I don't have a position on it, but good luck.
Just because a parent wants what's best for their child as far as their religion goes and they take them to this therapy, that doesn't make them bad parents. But there's not enough education out there about what this therapy actually is and if it actually works.
Well, 3 states and the District of Columbia have laws on the books already. The latest, Oregon, banned conversion therapy just last week. In Baldwin County, James Gordon, Local 15 News.
James, thank you. Alabama Governor Robert Bentley is throwing his support behind a new agreement reached over conditions at Tutwiler Prison. The settlement stops the feds from pursuing complaints of widespread prisoner abuse and sexual misconduct inside the women's prison. Alabama has agreed to install monitoring cameras and put in place new procedures to ensure inmate complaints are taken seriously. Bentley says the state has been working to improve conditions at the women's prison for 3 years now. In the next half hour, city leaders in Bayou La Battery are expected to gather during a special called meeting. The move comes after last night's meeting was canceled. City council members told Local 15 the cancellation was due to the lack of public notice. Mayor Brent Dungan says the dates and times have always been posted, and last night was an attempt to hold up city business. Tonight, city leaders are expected to address issues that were on Thursday night's agenda. Search efforts continue in Texas following historic flooding across the state. For 23 straight days, there has been at least 4 inches of rain somewhere in Texas. The National Weather Service says 35 trillion gallons of water has been dumped on the state. We now know at least 27 are dead and 13 are still missing.
At this point, we're still praying and hoping for the fact that we'll find somebody still breathing out there. This has not turned into a recovery mission yet.
The forecast calls for more rain in that area this weekend. There's a group of volunteers from Mobile who are helping out in Texas. The team is from Christ in Action. It's a nonprofit organization based in Virginia with a second location here in the Port City. Volunteers arrived Thursday and are working to set up Camp Hope. Coming up at 6 o'clock, Local 15's Madupe Idowu shares what the group is looking to do as search and rescue efforts continue in Texas. Some of your favorite foods are getting a makeover. The changes you'll soon see with companies like Kraft and McDonald's. The Biloxi Shuckers are gearing up to play inside its new stadium.